Good morning, children. So in our previous class, so we have studied about the rise of Christianity, how Christianity emerged in the medieval times of Europe, how it became an important religion, how it got spread. So certain things we studied in detail, like birth of Jesus Christ, about these Jewish people, what kind of problems they were facing. All such details we have studied in our previous chapter, so which is rise of Christianity. So once this Christianity, has taken a prominent place in the world, and after the death of Jesus Christ, what were the most important happenings that occurred in Europe? That is our present lesson. So in our previous lesson, we have studied only about how what were the how when Christianity had its roots, and how Jesus Christ was born. So in the medieval times in the Western world, so what happened? Christianity rose, and what was the necessity of Christianity? How Jesus Christ came, what is the path he showed, what were his important teachings, all such things we have studied. So in today's chapter called Medieval Europe, we are going to learn about how Europe transformed after the rise of Christianity, especially after the death of Jesus Christ, how Christianity got spread, what were the major happenings in medieval Europe, that we will see in this present day chapter. So the medieval period in Europe, it lasted for almost 1,000 years. So for 1,000 years, this medieval ages in European continent were in full-fledged operation. There were Christianity rising to its power. I know the Roman Empire was slowly declining. So many such things started happening with the medieval period in Europe. So from early 5th century CE. So here, from here, no certain changes you can observe. That is from the beginning of the 5th century CE till 15th century CE, for almost 1,000 years, the medieval period was very much flourishing. Okay, so till 15th century, the Europe has flourished with Christianity, with Roman Empire, with many such progressive things. And the medieval Europe saw numerous developments that had great impact on its future. Whatever development that has taken place in the medieval times during Europe, it has impacted the European people in a big way. Okay, so how it impacted that and all we will see now. But definitely that impact is more on European continent. There are numerous developments in that place, okay, with reference to people or with reference to the ways and means. So the decline of ancient Roman Empire by 285 CE, it has see the major thing that happened after this medieval period was, or in the medieval period was, ancient Roman Empire declined. As Christianity was rising to its power, slowly, the Roman Empire started declining. So the Roman Empire has grown so vast that it became difficult to govern all the provinces of the Rome. So, so the Roman Empire is very vast, and by the rise of Christianity, there were several places, where the Roman culture and Greeks, they were facing a lot of difficulties because they're trying to they become independent from the Roman Empire. Like you take Jewish people, Jesus Christ liberated them from the torture that they are getting from Romans. So slowly, when such changes are happening, Roman Empire started declining, and even though it is declining and all, still there are places under its control, and it became difficult for governing all such provinces of Rome. So, under the Rome and Roman Empire, there are definitely a more number of provinces or places, and it became difficult for the rulers to rule that from Rome as headquarters. Okay, because see, somewhere in Nazareth, or you take somewhere in Jerusalem, Jesus took birth, I know the Jewish people turning against the Romans. So everywhere things are changing, and it became difficult for the Romans to control all the provinces under Rome. So the Roman Emperor Diocletian, okay, you can see him in the picture, the Roman Empire Diocletian, he divided the empire into two parts. Eastern Roman Empire is known as Byzantium and Western Roman Empire. So what happened? As the Roman Empire is vast and everywhere there are changes happening around Europe, it became difficult for the rulers. So as it became difficult to monitor the entire Rome, the Roman culture, so what the rulers did, the rulers, the ruler, especially Diocletian, he has divided the empire into two parts. As it became difficult administratively for the big empire to rule, he divided the empire into Eastern Roman Empire called Byzantium, and the other is Western Roman Empire. Now, all these the Western Roman Empire is governed from Rome, and the Eastern Empire, which is also called Byzantine Empire, it was ruled from Byzantium. So this system worked till 313 CE. So till 313 CE, or 330 Common Era, 13 Common Era, this division was there. Eastern Roman Empire and Western Roman Empire. They were separate, and they had their own headquarters. They had their own in charges, which works under the Roman Emperor. Okay, so in 313 CE, Constantine I reunited the two administrative divisions of the empire. So by 313 CE, Constantine, for various reasons, he reunited the two administrative divisions. That means he combined both Eastern and Western Roman Empire. And by 330 CE, he moved the seat of the empire to Constantinople. So earlier, the headquarters from where the Roman Empire used to function was, in the beginning, it was Rome. Later, under Diocletius, what happened? It shifted to Byzantium in one part, and it shifted to Rome in other part. Now, so it was Byzantium, and again later it was Rome for each separate thing. Then again, what Constantine did, he united these both parts, Eastern and Western Roman Empire, and he made Rome as headquarters again. So he made Rome as headquarters. So later, what the Roman Emperor Constantine did was, he united these two parts, Eastern and Western Roman Empire, and he started ruling the Roman Empire from a new headquarters called Constantinople. So you know the story of Constantine and Constantinople, right? When he was fighting a war, he saw the cross in the sky, and after seeing that cross, he wins over the war, and he adopts Christianity, and he constructs a separate capital city called Constantinople, which is present day Istanbul city. Okay, the modern day Istanbul city was referred as Constantinople. And in 395 CE, empire was again divided into two halves under Emperor Theodosius I. So after the ruling of Constantine I, the empire went into the hands of Theodosius. He again divided the empire into two halves for administrative reasons. So by 5th century CE, the powerful Roman Empire started to decline. So there are many factors attributed to its fall. So from 5th century onwards, almost, you know, the empire started slowly declining due to various reasons. Okay, maybe the rise of Christianity, the weakness of rulers. There are many such factors why it declined. So summing it up, the thing is, under Diocletian, Roman Empire got divided. Under Constantine, it was united again, and capital city changed it to Constantinople, and again Theodosius, it was again divided. So with this kind of experiments, the Roman Empire declined. Okay, so let us see what are the reasons why it got declined in the coming slides. So why Roman Empire got declined? So what happened to the Roman emperors? So that and all we'll see. Before that, we also like to see, is there any external factor responsible for the decline of Roman Empire? So externally, is anybody responsible, or only it is internal? No. Even external factors are responsible for the, you know, so externally there are many reasons for the Roman Empire to decline. One of the main reason is barbarian invasions. So who are these barbarians? So they are like, very cruel people who once they attack, they'll not show any mercy and all. The warfare and the way they capture kingdoms is a very cruel thing. So, they are barbarian tribals. So especially the tribal warfare will be very cruel and all. So mostly the Western Roman Empire. Now the Roman Empire is divided under Theodosius. So the western part of Roman Empire, it faced repeated attacks by various Germanic groups from north, like Goths, Vandals, Franks, and Lombards. See, if you take this as western, this is the Roman Empire, map. This is the Western Roman Empire, and this is Eastern Roman Empire. And here, what happened in the after Theodosius I? Okay, after Theodosius I, who divided the empire into Western and Eastern. In the Western part, there were frequent attacks of the barbarian tribes from Germany. So, from Germany, several tribes attacked the western part of Roman Empire. So, these tribals are like Goths, Vandals, the name of the tribals. They are the tribal groups in Germany. Franks and Lombards. You can see here Vandals, you can see here Goths, and these tribals are Lombards. Okay, so this is how they look generally, these tribals. These tribals, they attacked which part of the Roman Empire? Western part of the Roman Empire. And the attacks of these Germanic tribes on the Western Roman Empire is described as the barbarian invasions. So these tribals are barbaric tribes. That means the warfare they do is very cruel. So these cruel warfare done by these tribes like Vandals, Goths, Franks, and Lombards that belong to Germany are referred as barbarian invasions. The barbarians breached the boundaries of Roman Empire and invaded deep into the crust of the expanse. So they have entered into very deeper parts of the empire. It is not just the border areas. They have crossed, they have destroyed all the border areas and entered into the very deeper parts of the Western Roman Empire. They also invaded and looted the city of Rome. So for the Western Roman Empire, the headquarters is Rome. So what they did, they even entered into the headquarters of the Western Roman Empire, Rome, and they have looted the city. See, their purpose was not ruling. So what they do, as by this time the Roman Empire is very rich, they started looting the wealth of the Roman Empire, especially from Rome. So the headquarters of the Western Roman Empire, which is Rome, was completely looted away by barbarian tribes. These tribes took over all the major provinces, established numerous post-Roman kingdoms. See, on one end they are looting the wealth, on the other end what they're doing, they're establishing post-Roman kingdoms. Okay, so if there are any provinces under the control of this Western Roman Empire, they captured all those provinces or areas and they started ruling them. So here the barbarian tribes, on one end they are looting the wealth, on the other end what they're doing, they're establishing small kingdoms. And the Germanic leader Odoacer threw the last West Roman emperor Romulus Augustus, and this marked the fall of the mighty Western Empire. So by this time, when the barbaric tribes were attacking, okay, the German leader Odoacer, He is the German tribal leader Odoacer, and he dethroned the Western Roman Emperor by name Romulus Augustus. He is Romulus Augustus, and this man, German tribal leader, he defeated this last Western Roman ruler, and he thus, no, Western Roman Empire completely went into the hands of Germanic tribes. So with this, the Western Roman Empire declined. So the major portion of Roman Empire, right? So which got declined due to this attacks of barbarians. So just now we have discussed about barbarian invasions. Externally, the attacks of those barbarians made the Western Roman Empire to decline, isn't it? So what are the other important reasons for the decline? There are some political and economic conditions. Politically, the rulers were not strong, and economically, the financial position of empire also became weak. These two factors also made the Western Roman Empire to decline. So, other than the invasions, people in the Roman Empire also faced a lot of political and economic problems, which speeded the decline of empire. So, the political and economic reasons that came up also made, added to the barbarian invasions, which resulted in the decline of the Roman Empire. There was a decrease in agriculture production, which led to sharp rise in the prices of goods. See, always when the tribals are attacking from external sources, and you know politically the rulers are not strong in the empire, then what will happen? Politically, administration will fail. When administration fails, what happens? People who are dependent on this administration, the common people, they have to suffer. So the agriculture sector suffered a lot due to the political instability in the Western Roman Empire. The production completely came down, and because there was no proper, irrigation facilities, nothing were taken care of. Only, they were always involved in the wars. All the money used to be spent on wars. There was no care taken on agriculture sector by the rulers. Hence, the agriculture sector got damaged. When agriculture sector gets damaged, the production, the food grains that come from agriculture sector decreased. When the food grains decreased, whatever food grains are present in the market, they had high prices. The rise in prices was seen, and the rulers started producing more coins, which led to inflation. When prices are rising at one end, what the rulers did, they did a wrong administrative thing. What is that? When prices are falling down due to the demand, sorry, when prices are increasing because there is a demand for the production in the market. So when production is very less and prices are more, what the rulers started doing, they started minting more and more coins. They started giving money they started getting the money into circulation more so that people can use money. Instead of increasing the production, they increased the circulation of money among the people. So what happened? It led to inflation. So which is fall of value of money. See, if I have one pencil in a shop, for example, generally that area, no, people will buy two pencils per month, something like that. You just imagine what the shopkeeper will do. He will keep two pencils, or he'll keep 10 pencils with the shop, because that is a general stock which he maintains. And suddenly there is a, what happened? There is a demand, there is a production of pencils got down. Okay, this is for your understanding, I'm saying. The production of pencils came down, and the shopkeeper is having 10 pencils with him. And as there is demand for pencils now, what he will do, whatever pencils are left over with him, he will start increasing the price and he will sell, because the number of people to buy these pencils will be more. So he will try to encash those people. Now, what will happen? Pencil which was earlier 5 rupees, he will start selling it with 10 rupees. Now people have to pay double the amount. Now what the rulers did, if they started giving money to people to buy this pencil, they'll bring 10 rupees and buy. After some days, what the shopkeeper will do, he'll make it 20. Now what people have to do, they have to bring a 20 rupees note. For the same 10 rupees earlier, now he's carrying 20 rupees note with him to buy same pencil. Now the value of money is getting declined day by day, because by giving more money when prices are more to people, it will lead to the fall of value of money, so which is called inflation. The rulers have minted more and more coins so that the value of money fallen down, and the empire went into inflation. The political system of Western Roman Empire was weak and unstable. How can you say that politically they were weak? 25 emperors changed in 47 years. You can imagine how much instability is there with the ruling system. 25 in 47 years. Almost every 2 years, one emperor used to change. So this led to the fall of mighty and powerful Western Roman Empire. However, the Eastern Roman Empire still thrived and prosperous for centuries after the fall of its Western counterpart. When the Western Roman Empire was facing severe disasters like barbarian invasions, also this financial crisis like inflation, political crisis like changing of number of rulers, the Eastern Roman Empire, it was still strong. Okay, so this was still strong, and it was rich in its own way. It was not having this kind of problems because of its geographical protection and all various reasons. So this is about the political and economic conditions that made the Western Roman Empire to decline. So just till now we have discussed about the Western Roman Empire. What was its position? So in medieval Europe, we studied that Roman Empire got divided, united. Again, it got divided under Theodosius, and after that, how it fell. The western part, how it declined, we have seen. Now, what was the situation of Byzantium, or the eastern part of empire? So the Eastern Roman Empire was also referred as Byzantium Empire. So which had its capital at Byzantium. So who made this Eastern Roman Empire and all? So in 330 CE, the Roman Emperor Constantine I renamed this Byzantium as Constantinople and made it the new Roman capital. So see, in the eastern part, what happened? There was a kingdom by name Byzantium, and there was a province by name Byzantium. And you know, this man, Constantine I, he renamed this Byzantium, Byzantium as Constantinople. Based on his name only, he renamed this as Constantinople, and he will declare the official religion of that Constantinople as Christianity also. You know the story of Constantine and Christianity. So we are discussing about the Eastern Roman Empire, and the headquarters of Eastern Roman Empire is at a place called Constantinople, which was earlier referred as Byzantium. And the so Byzantine Empire also had to face invasions of barbarian tribes. This is all Roman Empire. Okay, western part was having headquarters at Rome. Eastern part was having headquarters at Constantinople. So Constantinople even serves as headquarters of Roman Empire, but to the eastern side. However, it could withstand. So why? What was the situation with Eastern Roman Empire? The Eastern Roman Empire also faced barbaric invasions, like Western part. Eastern part also faced barbarian invasions. Who are barbarians? You know these barbarians, right? Like Goths, Vandals, uh, you know, Lombards, Franks. These are all the barbarian tribes. They also attacked Eastern Empire. But how could they? What happened to Eastern Roman Empire? They could withstand. That means they could resist this, barbarian invasions very strongly. What were the reasons? Geographically, the Eastern Roman Empire is very safe. There are a lot of hilly areas and no rivers, as natural boundaries are very protective for the Eastern Roman Empire. That was one reason. So because of strong geographical boundaries, it was difficult for the barbarians to come and attack. Even though they attacked, they could not, give a full-fledged attack like how they gave in Western. Here it is difficult to cross the big hilly areas and other boundaries. Along with that kind of reason, geographical reason, strong administrative center and internal political stability. So politically, the leaders were very strong and they were having good administration. So which helped to face these wars whenever they attacked. The Byzantine Empire produced a rich tradition of Roman art and literature. When Western Roman Empire declined, the eastern part emerged as a center of Roman culture. All the Roman and Greek culture that was flourishing, it was preserved by the Eastern Empire. The Eastern Empire could preserve that Roman culture. And the empire finally in 1453 CE, okay, during the rule of Constantine XI, it was attacked by Islamic Turkish invaders from the east and captured by, they captured Constantinople. See, finally, even Constantinople or the Eastern Roman Empire also declined. So why it declined? Not because of barbarian invasions, but because of Turkish invasions. So this Turkish rulers from eastern part of the world, they invaded the Constantinople, the headquarters of Eastern Roman Empire, and thus it went into the hands of the outsiders. And with this, total Roman Empire got declined. So which is a major change that happened in the medieval times of Europe. And you can see in the picture here Constantine XI. Okay, so he is Constantine XI and he is Constantine I. Okay, so this is about the decline of ancient Roman Empire.